It's a little warm and windy this afternoon. Surprise Stadium is where the Rangers will host your world champion Los Angeles Dodgers. Hi again, everybody, along with Rick Monday. I'm Tim Neverett. Kirsten Watson will join us momentarily as we count you down to the first pitch of this Cactus League game. First week of Cactus League play wrapping up. And Walker Buehler, Rick, gets to start for the second time on the 2nd of March in Scottsdale against the Giants. He had two very effective innings.
And only 24 pitches over those 2 innings, so the former #1 pick by the Dodgers. We'll see today if he's going to work in the breaking ball, maybe the off-speed pitch as well. He comes equipped, no question about it. That fastball, it rides in the upper 90s.
So Walker Buehler, we'll see what he can do today as he adds more pitches in another inning. And here's Chris Taylor going to make a start at third base today. Didn't play there all last year. He has played there periodically, but not very often throughout his career.
He's going to be the swing man, very important infield and outfield. 2017 made 3 starts at third base. 2 years later, 19 made 4 starts, gets the start here this afternoon.
Spring training rolls on in Arizona. It's the Dodgers and the Rangers coming up on Sportsnet LA. Today, just a tick under 80 degrees in Surprise. Not much wind. East-southeast wind 7 miles an hour. A little overcast, too, which is not so bad for the outfielders. Rangers and Dodgers getting ready to start. And let's check in now with Kirsten.
Thanks, Tim. Well, you guys said it. Chris Taylor will be at third base in this game. And that is something that in conversations he's had with Dave Roberts, realistically, he will mostly be playing at second base this season, but he wants to be prepared to be at any position that he can step in, because the focus for him this year is to get on the field no matter what position that is. So he has been taking some ground balls at third base in practice this week, a position that he does feel very comfortable at. But like I said, this focus for this season is whatever gets him on that field, because that is where he is happiest playing this game of baseball. Back to you guys.
He's got a happy smile on right now as he's getting ready to start. He's just one of those guys, Rick, that's a ball player. I mean, it doesn't matter where he plays. You know, he's a little old school with the high socks, pine tar, and you'll see him wearing the flip-down sunglasses today.
Yeah, and evidently playing third is not going to disrupt him. A little bit relaxed, yawning, taking in the scenes. It is a different view playing from one side of the infield to the other. Different perspective, but he'll be at the hot corner. Something, by the way, we have seen some rockets hit down to third base of each of the last 2 games Dodgers have played.
See him sitting with Gavin Lux in the dugout. Walker Buehler continuing to warm up. He'll come on in the bottom of the inning. Always interesting to watch Walker Buehler pitch. It doesn't matter if it's spring training or Game 6 of the World Series or whatever. Walker is just as intense every time he prepares to throw a baseball.
A couple of interesting numbers if we look back to last year with Walker Buehler. The first inning that he pitched in ball games, opposing hitters talk about having difficulty adjusting. They hit below 100, 074 to be exact. And then if you look at the first 15 pitches that he made in a ball game, he just attacks the opposing hitters. They hit just $115. So the rule is today, how long will it go? How many pitches against the Texas Rangers?
Well, the umpires taking their spots on the field, and this guy getting ready to go. Mookie Betts will lead off, followed by Corey Seager. Great 1-2 punch is developing here in the Dodger lineup. Then Will Smith, Max Muncy, Taylor Lux, Sheldon Noisy will be the designated hitter. Zach Rex in left, and DJ Peters makes the start in center field today. But the importance of Betts and Seager hitting 1-2, which they've done quite a bit. And here's Mike Foltynewicz, former Atlanta Brave, in a new home with the Texas Rangers.
And really fell out of favor while he was with the Atlanta Braves. Surprisingly fell out of favor in a hurry. He was a member of the National League All-Star team 2018. But the Braves were, well, they were not really overly enthused by his work ethic and the way that he was going after things. So oddly enough, he was designated for assignment last year after making just 1 appearance. He was wrecked. He was hit all over the place, hit home runs on top of it in the brief outing that he had. So for Foltynewicz, who's only 29 years of age, a chance to kind of reclaim his career here now with the Texas Rangers.
Former first-round pick, 19th overall in 2010, drafted at the time by the Houston Astros. He's out of Manuka, Illinois. So Mike Foltynewicz getting ready to throw the first pitch of this ball game this afternoon. Umpire calling the balls and strikes will be Dan Bellino. Gabe Morales at first, Nick Lentz at second, Jansen Visconti at third. The base umpires will rotate each 3 innings today. Kirsten Watson, Rick Monday, Tim Neverett ready to go as the Dodgers and Rangers will play the 8th game of this Cactus League schedule and complete this first week of games. First pitch of the ball game is swung on and driven to right field. Backing up on it is Joey Gallo. A few feet in front of the warning track. He'll haul it in for the out. So Mookie Betts aggressive, going after the first pitch and flying to right.
First pitch was at number 7. That qualifies as allowed out. You believe how? I mean, you talk about solid contact.
Pretty solid. So Mookie Betts will take that one back to the bank and put that at bat in his back pocket. Work on it next time as Seager will take a strike. Corey Seager, .307 average in 2020. It was his highest since 2016. Foltynewicz pitch inside. Corey Seager hit more home runs at Globe Life Field in 2020 than anybody on the Rangers roster who called that their home field. Seager had 8 during the postseason at Globe Life Park, Globe Life Field rather. And the closest one to him, Rougned Odor, had 6. So he out-homered any Ranger at their own home ballpark by 2. Fouls this one off. In fact, take it a step further. In 19 games that the Dodgers played there, of course the regular season games and the 16 postseason games, the Dodgers hit 34 home runs at Globe Life Field. The Rangers in 30 games there, only 27. That was some hitting.
I've got another one for you. The Dodgers outdrew the Texas Rangers in the Rangers home ballpark. And yes, it was a technicality. There were only cutouts allowed during the regular season. The Dodgers, of course, played the postseason, and fans were there.
Payoff pitch to Seager. He smacks it on the ground to Brock Holt at second base. He flips on to first for the out.
But outdrew them nonetheless.
4-3 the put out. Will Smith will come up. Say hello to our television audience on Sportsnet LA, our radio audience on AM 570, the Dodgers radio network, listening and watching the simulcast today on this Sunday afternoon. Foltynewicz with 2 down and the bases empty behind him fires a fastball low. That's ball 1 to Will Smith. Will Smith and Austin Barnes figure to be the catching tandem again this year for the Dodgers. Breaking ball on the outside corner, knee high for a strike, 1-1.
Well, this young man has put really some remarkable numbers together. And the games that he has played in a relatively short period of time in his major league career. Talking about the home run department, talking about the RBI department, and batting average for that matter.
Fastball's low, 2-1. But the 1-2 punch with the men behind the plate, Smith and Barnes. Barnes with 6 seasons under his belt, Smith with 2. 268 average for Smith, 230 for Barnes. Pitch down low, and it's 3-1 now to Will Smith.
Well, for Smith, when he came up to, one of the things that I was really marveling at was the fact that he could hit the ball in the upper part of the strike zone. And the swing was somewhat reminiscent to me of somewhat like Buster Posey.
He pops this pitch up back of first. Backing up on it is Nate Lowe. And just on the lip of the outfield grass, he'll haul it in for the third out. 3 up, 3 down for the Dodgers in the top of the first. Rangers coming to bat against Walker Buehler when we return to Surprise. As we head to the bottom half of the first inning, the Dodgers and the Texas Rangers today, and leading off for the Rangers will be Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. Brock Holt will follow, play second base. Joey Gallo in right field hitting third. Chris Davis, the cleanup man. Former Oakland A. Rougned Odor over at third base. Lowe, White, Heim and DeShields, the rest of the lineup, to face Walker Buehler. And Buehler set to go. His first pitch of the afternoon is a fastball in there for a strike. And the fastball is certainly something that he is accustomed to throwing early in games. Usually he'll start a hitter off with that. Throws another one, and Connor Falefa hits it to center field. DJ Peters with the glasses on backs up, makes the catch for out number 1.
As you mentioned earlier, there's a little breeze blowing out towards left field, so not a day that you want to have the right-handed batters hit the ball deep into the air down the left field side.
I guess the leadoff man, here's Brock Holt, former Boston Red Sox, Pittsburgh Pirate, and Milwaukee Brewer. Pitch inside to Holt.
Watching Walker Buehler too, you really marvel at how fluid his delivery is. If you're a hitter, is it deceptive on the fastball? And I say that because it's not like you're going to feed him raw meat. It's like he's running up to the mound and then throwing like his hair's on fire. It's very rhythmic. And when he gets into a slot, the fastball just has extra life.
It does. He's got great spin on the fastball. Count goes to 2-1 on Brock Holt. Holt playing at home. He is a Fort Worth, Texas native, and if he makes this Ranger team, he'll be back home. And the pitch. And a chopper to the right side. That'll stay fair. Good play by Max Muncy. Fielded it on one hop off the lip of the infield grass and stepped on the bag for the out. So 2 down.
For the Rangers and their manager Chris Woodward, it's going to be a season. They're trying to obviously build upon something, but when you have a year 22-38, they were near the bottom in baseball in a lot of different categories, offensively and from a pitching standpoint.
Joey Gallo, right fielder, looks at a curveball, and that's in there for a strike. Gallo 181 last season, but 10 home runs. And Gallo's a guy that he's either going to hit a home run or a double. Doesn't hit too many singles. And he had a home run here 2 days ago that went not only beyond the outfield fence, but there was a big grass hill, some trees, and then a white fence that signifies the actual outside of the stadium. And that ball went all the way to the white fence on a couple of hops. He can hit for distance. 0-2 pitch. Swings and fouls it straight back.
But he doesn't hit that often. You begin to look at Joey Gallo in right field situation, talking about the offense or lack thereof at times for the Texas Rangers. Combine their right fielders, and Gallo's the main guy. Hit a .191. Their second baseman combined last year. Hit a .196 was all.
0-2 is swung on and hammered deep right center field, and this one is not quite out of the stadium, but it is caught by a man with a glove well beyond the right center field wall, and Joey Gallo has a home run. 1-0 Rangers.
Well, a guy that is swing and miss a lot, but when he hits it, it goes a long way. A 2-strike pitch. It's spring training, but nonetheless, bad location. Bad location. The pitch is for the Dodgers. Bad location where the ball landed. Saw that Will Smith was trying to give the high target. Well, when you're going to leave the ball up in the strike zone and you make the mistake is down the middle, Gallo will prove the point it's a mistake.
Chris Davis a swing and a miss. When you talk about fastballs up in the zone for Buehler, he had great success with it last year, especially in the regular season. Opponents on fastballs up and out of the zone, they were only 2 for 30 against him. In the postseason, 1 for 19. So combined 3 for 49, which would result in an .061 batting average. And those numbers in terms of average and slugging percentage against, first tops in Major League Baseball for Walker Buehler. So unusual when he leaves one up and out like that it leaves the yard. Davis will take one knee high on the outside corner for a strike, and it's 1-2.
And to continue that thought, I think also too, Tim, from a standpoint when you look at a hitter, if you are going to diagram the type of hitter that Joey Gallo is, I think he qualifies, no question about it. A fastball hitting player.
Yeah. As is the guy at the plate.
And what was the first pitch that that Buehler threw Gallo that he took for strike one? Curveball.
And Gallo looked rather uncomfortable too.
Oh, you better believe it.
He was.
Yeah.
He did not.
The guy that years and years ago said the
good.
curveball was an optical illusion.
Yeah.
They told him he had a simple way to prove it. Grab a bat. We'll show you it's no optical illusion.
Davis reaches for the 2-2 offering, fouls it back. And it's almost like, why not take your chances with a curveball? And when you look at last year, 10 home runs for Gallo, 8 of those 10 were on either fastballs or sinkers. So 2-seamers or 4-seamers. The vast majority of his home runs came on non-breaking pitches. And Mookie Betts somehow makes a circus catch. Did it hit the grass or not?
Well, the umpire, second base umpire, is going to say it hit the ground.
It did.
And it did. A short hop into the glove.
But Mookie playing the short hop up in the air once, twice, 3 times. He tried to sell it like he caught it, but it was obvious, especially at our second look at it on a replay, that it definitely hit the grass. So that'll be a base hit for Chris Davis. Rougned Odor now playing third base for the Rangers. Left-handed batter takes high and away, ball 1.
Yeah, Odor's been good so far. I mean, this is early going, no question about it, in spring training, but the move over to third base from second, it's gone pretty well. Chris Woodward, his manager, is saying, look, Odor has the skill set with the quickness in the hands and the feet, strong throwing arm to go from second base over to third.
This one fouled back, and it's 1-1. Odor looks like he's put on a little bit of weight from last season to this season. Some muscle in there. This looks a little thicker than he has in the past. 2-2, slaps it the other way to left. Going back on it is Zach Rex, and this one is in the bullpen for a home run. Just cleared the wall. It's a 2-run homer, and Texas is up 3-0 in the bottom of the first inning. Opposite field home run for Rougned Odor.
Something that we talked about, I mentioned last year in the first inning. An .074 batting average against, and the teams that Walker Buehler is able to face, but not here, not this afternoon.
Well, Buehler got the first 2 outs of the inning on just 6 pitches. And after that, home run, single home run. And the next ball is swung on. Nate Lowe, the first baseman, backpedaling in left field is Rex. He'll make the catch, and the side is retired. But some damage done against Walker Buehler in the bottom of the first. A pair of home runs for the Rangers. Texas 3 and the Dodgers nothing. Conversing with pitching coach Mark Pryor right now. Max Muncy will lead off, the cleanup hitter today. Muncy, Taylor, Lux due up against Mike Foltynewicz. First pitch in there for a strike to Max Muncy. So Max at first base today. We expect during the regular season we'll see Cody Bellinger over there a time or 2 or more, as the lineup will shift around. And published report here just a short time ago, Cody Bellinger played a little defense in an inter-squad game today, we understand. Did not take any at bats. Muncy lines it to the left side, and in the shift there's Odor to snare it for the out. The Dodgers do expect to see Bellinger back mid-month. Did not take any swings today, we understand. Just played defense a little bit.
It's kind of weird to say that Bellinger is taking batting practice. He's taking watching practice. He is tracking pitches, standing at home plate, but not swinging after the shoulder had been repaired in the offseason. But as you mentioned, he is ahead of schedule is what we're being told.
That's good news. Really good news. Don't want to rush the guy, but if he's ready, he's ready. And we expect to see him maybe in a week or so. No balls, one strike to the right-handed hitting Chris Taylor, starting at third base today. Foltynewicz delivers, and a short hop hit to Brock Holt at second base. He was playing over close to the bag. Taylor doesn't even make it down to the base before the ball beats him there by plenty. 4-3 the put out, 2 gone.
2 balls have been hit hard in this inning, 3 so far, and the 5 batters that Foltynewicz has faced. And Taylor stayed back really well on a breaking ball. I'll mention also, we talked about it on the pregame show, but for Chris Taylor, he's going to be a very important swingman with this Dodger ball club. Today, starting at third base, you start to look at what he was able to do with the average last year, in particular with runners in scoring position, plays all over the field.
Gavin Lux has had a great start to spring training. Left-handed batter up there, takes outside ball 1. Last season, got to summer camp late after the pause and did not make the opening day roster. Spent some time at the alternate site. Managed to hit 3 home runs during the regular season, including the longest one by a Dodger. I think if you had to guess who was going to hit the longest home run, you might think Edwin Rios maybe, or Corey Seager had the second longest one, 444 feet at Dodger Stadium, but a 450-plus foot home run at Coors Field for Gavin Lux last year.
And how much did he learn about the game last year? And how much did he learn about himself? Evaluating, hey, look, here are my strong points, and here are the other points that I need to work on. And it was frustrating. He was allowed the opportunity to, raise his hand and claim the second base job in spring training. It just did not pan out.
Swings and rips one foul. Well, the way that the Dodgers work the lineups, I mean, he is hoping right now, I would think, to try to crack the lineup as the second baseman against right-handed pitchers.
Well, he's already overcome one big obstacle, and that was the throwing issue that he had for an abbreviated, and hopefully that's all it was, an abbreviated period of time.
Late on that one and strikes out. 4 for 9 so far in spring training. An 11-pitch inning for Mike Foltynewicz. 6 up, 6 down for the Dodgers through an inning and a half. 3-0 Rangers. Certainly a family affair, and the families gathered on the grass hill here at Surprise Stadium. Youngsters in their Dodger gear, enjoying it. Buehler throws the first pitch to Eli White, the left fielder. He pops it up to Mookie Betts in right field. 1 pitch, 1 out in the second. Rangers up 3-0.
Some guys so far coming to home plate hacking early. It's like a getaway day.
Have you noticed that through the first week that we've seen more first pitch
You and I had this
early?
discussion the other day coming to the studio. Is that you would think the norm would be is that, look, I want to see early in spring training a lot of pitches. Maybe you take the first pitch. Well, that hasn't been the theme song.
Jonah Heim takes a strike right at the knees. You've got some aggressive hitters up there. I think sometimes, you get the younger players trying to make a mark, and they get to face an established big league pitcher. They see a first pitch fastball that's somewhere in a good spot, somewhere in that keyhole that they like to look into, and they're trying to pick a spot to hit. And they want to take a whack at it rather than tracking pitches, rather than seeing a lot of pitches and making the most of your at bat here in spring training. Comes the 0-2. And a ground ball right side, and Max Muncy will handle it. He'll step on the bag, 2 down.
Well, the theme song might be, look, I'm carrying this lumber to home plate. I might as well use it.
0-0, the line of the Shields.
Well, Buehler doesn't mind him swinging at the first pitch. That I'm certain of. Throws a lot of fastballs on the first pitch too, so that's probably what these hitters are thinking. Last year, Buehler threw 74% fastball in the first pitch of an at bat. That's the third highest number of fastballs on the first pitch in Major League Baseball.
Kershaw was also rather high first pitch. Well, first pitch strike to begin with Kershaw, and a relatively high percentage of fastballs.
Delino DeShields, the number 9 hitter, center fielder, fouls a pitch off. He's behind 0-2. Yeah, Buehler took care of leadoff hitters last year too. They hit .088 against him all last season. That was the lowest average in Major League Baseball. So Buehler was tops in that category in all of Major League Baseball in terms of opponent batting average against when leading off an inning. And so far through the 2 innings he's pitched, he's retired the leadoff hitter here today. DeShields will line this pitch to left center field. Rex over to the gap, cutting it off. DeShields trying for 2. Rex bobbled the ball slightly, and DeShields will be in with a 2-out double. DeShields never slowed down. He was gunning it for second base right out of the box.
Well, in an area, and that's a breaking ball, and it was left out over the plate. That was going to be extra bases regardless. And a good job by Rex just to get over and at least stop the ball from going to the wall. If it goes all the way to the wall, you're looking at a possibility of maybe even a triple.
Well, first ball swinging is Isiah Kiner-Falefa, and Mookie Betts dives. He won't get it. Coming around to score is DeShields, and into second with a 2-out run scoring double is Isiah Kiner-Falefa. Boy, Buehler has been a strike away from ending both innings with no damage. Last inning he was 0-2 on Gallo. Gallo hits the home run, followed up single and a home run by Odor. And then this inning he was 1-2 on DeShields. Now back-to-back doubles.
And another pitch down the big part of the plate. So as far as Buehler, so far today, the location of his pitches have not been exactly pinpoint.
4-0 Rangers. Bottom of the second inning.
That's why they're spring training.
That's right.
To try and refine. And pitchers, like hitters earlier on, they like to get the guys out, but are they working on a particular pitch on that particular outing?
Brock Holt slaps a slow roller to the left side. Cutting it off is Taylor. From his third base position, was out near shortstop on the infield grass. He threw him out. But another run comes in on 2 hits. A man left. We'll head to the third. 4-0 Texas.
Presented by Authority of the Los Angeles Dodgers and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Dodgers.
Welcome back to Surprise Stadium. Your favorite Dodger Stadium eats are available at home through Dodgers Home Plate. From Dodger dogs to garlic fries and nacho helmets, get a taste of the ballpark experience delivered on demand. Search for Dodgers Home Plates on Postmates and order your stadium favorites for the next game now.
That's a wonderful idea. The ballpark food at home right now. Walker Buehler, 2 innings, 4 earned runs on 5 hits. And he was a pitch away from getting out of the first, a pitch away from getting out of the second. Jordan Lyles will take over for Foltynewicz. Lyles has been around, a long-time Colorado Rocky. He was with the Rangers last year. Spent a season with the Pirates, then with the Brewers, Padres. Sheldon Neuse is the batter for the Dodgers, the designated hitter today. He's getting some early spring training at bats for sure. He came over from Oakland in the deal for Adam Kolarek. He swings and misses here, and it's 2-2. So Lyles, former first-round pick, 2008 by the Astros, out of Hartsville, South Carolina.
Slated to be their number 3 starter.
He winds and fires home, and that's outside. 3-2. You look at the Rangers, so Rick, and they've got number of guys vying for starting spots. They've got 7 guys, which is what I think a lot of teams would love to have. Dodgers certainly are in that situation. But for Chris Woodward, he's got to make some decisions on what to do in terms of his rotation. Ground ball to short, and Noisy is out as Isaiah Kiner-Falefa one-handed it and threw across to get him.
Well, there's some room for improvement because for Chris Woodward, he knows that his staff overall, they were 23rd in baseball in earned run average. It was over 5. Their starters was over 5.3. Their starters were 10.28. Their relievers a little bit better, just over 4.5 earned run average collectively, but they gave up way too many runs. They were 25th in baseball in runs allowed.
Well, Zach Rex takes high and away. Well, one school of thought, talking to people around the Rangers, they think that there is a chance, and it depends on who makes the club and at what capacity in terms of the pitching staff, but there is a chance they might have a position in the starting rotation as a piggyback position where one guy would go 3 innings, 4 innings, another guy would come in, go 3, 4 behind him in a perfect plan. It's not a deal that's set in stone by Woodward, but it's certainly something that the Rangers are considering.
Yeah. You know what that says? Don't have a starter.
It's like 2 quarterbacks in football,
Yeah.
right? You have 2, you don't have 1. Ground ball to second base. Brock Holt flips to first, and Rex is out, 2 down.
Well, they can figure it out because I started adding up this morning. Chris Woodward has the availability of having a lot of teaching going on. Why do I say that? The Rangers list 16 coaches. 16.
That's a lot.
It's a truck full.
So how many is that per player? Like 1 coach per every 2 players? DJ Peters swung and missed at the slider from Jordan Lyles, and it's 0-1. Lyles with a sinking fastball, curveball, cutter, change, slider.
Peters would like to have that pitch back and take a hack at it.
It's 0-2 now to Peters. 2 down, bases empty, 4-0 Rangers, top of the 3rd. Lyles winds, kicks, fired. And it's in the dirt. Did Peters offer? Yes, he did. Dan Bellino said he went around. So the throw comes from the backstop somewhere down to first base, and Peters is out. So the Dodgers have been quiet on this Sunday afternoon. 9 men to the plate, 9 men up. And Walker Buehler coming back out to work, down 4-0. 4-0 Rangers. Walker Buehler out to pitch, facing Joey Gallo. And the pitch outside. He didn't start him with that hard fastball. Some soft stuff off the plate, and it's 1-0. Gallo took him deep last time. As Gallo stands in from the left side, and he takes inside. 2-0. This is what happened in the first inning. 2 outs, 2 strikes. Left it up and out, and boom. Joey Gallo does that a lot. He hits a lot of tape measure jobs. And he swings and crushes one, pulling it down the right field side. Mookie Betts will give it a look, but it hooks foul.
Now, Gallo was also talking about last week that he has changed bats. He said the previous bat that he'd been using in his career he felt was a little bit too top heavy. So he has gone with a bat that he feels the weight's distributed a little bit better.
Oh, he swings and he hammers another one. This one to center. Back goes Peters, and right there in front of the wall he makes the catch. Well, Gallo gave it a ride, but the ballpark held that one. Just a long and loud out.
Gallo was the guy a couple of years ago. The Dodgers at Dodger Stadium put the shift on with 4 men to the right side of second base. Gallo refused to attempt to hit the ball to the left side or bunt or anything else.
So out of the stretch is Buehler. He has started this inning from the stretch with nobody on base.
There's something to work on, and could possibly feel more compact with the delivery working from the stretch. Or was this just a sign, hey, look, I haven't worked from the stretch that much.
1-0 pitch to Chris Davis has popped up toward the right field line. Mookie Betts drifting into foul territory, reaches up, makes the catch for the second out.
But again, I go back to my comment last half inning. This appears to be a contest where the hitters are saying, look, if you take a strike, it's a fine, and the hitters are going to home plate like there's a cab waiting for them outside. The meter's running.
That's right. It's like a double parked next to a fire hydrant. You know, it does remind me of, and I think you said it earlier, like a getaway day game. Rougned Odor fouls this pitch down the first base side.
It was interesting. We just got a glimpse a moment ago. Don't know if we can get it or not. The foot position of Walker Buehler on the pitching slab. You know, that rule changed a couple of years ago. It used to have recalled upon to have your entire foot in contact. Well, basically, it's just the toes of the right foot in contact with the slab with Buehler right now. So for a left-handed batter, position of Buehler, he's throwing and trying to get the outside corner away from the hitter. You see, just barely in contact with the pitching slab.
Pitch to Odor. Breaking ball waved at him, missed, and he strikes him out. So more business as usual there for Walker Buehler as he retires the side in order. Champion Dodgers baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by the SoCal BMW Centers. BMW, the ultimate driving machine. This one of many Mookie moments in the postseason last year. Wait till this year. Well, Walker Buehler had a successful third inning. First two, he was good for the first 2/3 of the inning and 2/3 of the next at bat. A couple of rough pitches in terms of location. Dave Roberts talking to him. So 40 pitches. Typically, it's going to be 3 innings, 45 in your second outing, but Kenley Jansen warming up, and he'll be coming in to pitch shortly. In the meantime, Kyle Cody has taken over for the Rangers. And the Dodger fans have taken over Surprise Stadium, it sounds like. 8 appearances last year for Cody, the tall right-hander with a 1.59 ERA. Pitch to Mookie. Is on the outside edge for a strike, and the count 1-1. Mookie is 0 for 1 today with a fly out to right.
You're going to have to look a little bit higher for the release point, as you mentioned. Kyle Cody, tall guy, 6'7".
Pitch to Betts in the dirt. Scooped up by Jonah Heim, the catcher. 2 balls and a strike. Cody's been around just a little bit. Had to recover from Tommy John surgery and didn't pitch in 2019. And then came back to make those 8 appearances last year for the Rangers. As Mookie slams one into center field, that's a base hit. And DeShields bobbles it. Mookie takes a big turnaround first. He'll hold in. Leadoff single, first base hit, first base runner today for the Dodgers.
Well, first at bat, Betts lined out to right field on the first pitch that was thrown to him. So they had to shift on to the left side. And Betts just goes right up the middle with it.
You get accustomed to seeing that during the course of a long season. That smile of Mookie Betts when he gets at first base. Betts is a guy that can get to third in a hurry. He's one of the best, if not the best, at going first to third in baseball.
You and I had a conversation today before the ball game about a couple of Dodger players, in particular when the game is on the line. 7th, 8th, and 9th innings of games.
Seager, big cut and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike to Corey Seager.
When you've got the strategy going in both dugouts, and looked at Mookie Betts from the 7th inning on. And here you're facing the cream of the crop as far as the other bullpen. Dave Roberts understanding this as well. Betts, 7th inning on or in extra innings, hit almost 350 last year.
Incredible. Seager fouls this one back. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Corey Seager. Mookie in clutch situations is a guy you want at the plate. Certainly, he's a great leadoff hitter, but He actually hits better with men on base. I mean, with runners in scoring position and 2 outs last year, he hit over 500.
Yeah. And with less than 2 outs, 439.
Right.
Take your pick. Either one of them overwhelming.
Yeah, that pitch is downstairs.
I go back to what Edwin Rios said about Mookie Betts last year. He says, seeing Mookie out there every day. Here's a guy that signed a huge contract. He said he's out getting extra work every day. And then you ask yourself the question, why am I not doing this? Because you see him, he's doing it, therefore I need to do it. It's contagious.
Seager takes inside. And Mookie's presence obviously has helped Corey Seager, because Seager was on pace to have a career year last year. You get a right-handed pitcher to start a ball game. You got to like Seager's chances after Mookie gets on. Seager against righties last year hit .322. He slugged .622. Cody fires over to first base, and Mookie dives back safely.
Well, you're also going to see more fastballs too. You know, you start to look at how you construct a lineup, and you'll get, you know, the old adage used to be you want the contact guy in the number 2 spot. You get a speedster that's on base, hitter's going to get more fastballs.
Swing and a miss, hit a ball down and in, and down on strikes goes Seager.
Well, that's something you don't see that often, because Corey Seager has a very good knowledge of the strike zone, but he chases one down here.
So Seager is out, and Will Smith will come up to face Kyle Cody. You know, we're giving Mookie's numbers with men on base and how he hits late in games, and you say, okay, then why does he come up with no one on the first time up? Well, the reason, I think one of the reasons it's important to have him as the leadoff man is it gives him that possible 5th, maybe even 6th at bat late in the game when the game is on the line. You want this guy coming up more often.
As often as you can get him to home plate. Will Smith has some numbers that you run across. And his young career mentioned the fact in number of home runs and RBIs and an abbreviated number of games so far. Takes outside, but how about the fact on September 6th last year he had a home run. That was his 21st home run in his 77th career game. Well, how does that stack up against former Dodger catchers in a somewhat similar number of games in their great careers?
1 ball 1 strike pitch to Smith is outside, 2-1.
Mike Piazza in 77 games in his Hall of Fame career. How many home runs did he hit in that period of time? 11. How about another Hall of Famer, Roy Campanella, in his first 77 games? How many home runs did Campy hit? 8. Will Smith, 21 in his first 77 major league games.
It's big time impressive. He cuts and misses at a fastball. It's 2-2. So 1 out, 1 on. Texas with a 4-0 lead, top of the 4th.
And yet we talk about the home runs. Will Smith is not a guy you want him concentrating on home runs. Hit the ball solidly. He's going to be an extra base type of a hitter. But when you put it in perspective, what a start in a career he's had.
Terrific. Here comes Kyle Cody's 2-2 pitch. It's swung on, fouled back. Today's game scheduled for 8 innings, in case you missed that. You can choose how many innings you want, and it's got to be agreed upon by the managers 24 hours before the game. That'll be going on up until the 14th of the month. So a few more days of that. Or it would be a minimum 5 innings. You could play 5 innings, 6 innings, 7, 8, or 9, depending on how much pitching you want to use that day. We have seen a 6-inning game. We have seen a 9-inning game already. Today will be the first 8-inning game. But then after the 14th, you can have a minimum of 7 innings if you choose. So 7 to 9. The 3-2 pitch to Smith. Fouled back. Also, starting on the 14th, the 3-batter minimum rule will be enforced. Right now it is not. And you'd have to think sometime around the middle of March, toward the later part of March. The pitchers like Walker Buehler will be in the lineup as hitters. National League with no DH, despite the efforts of many this year. So they will still have the pitchers hit. So the pitchers will have to get some at-bats in game action. You'd figure probably sometime after the middle of the month. Will Smith hits it a long way to right. It is off the wall. Gallo one-hands it. Mookie Betts rumbling to third base. With one out, he had to wait. 2 outs, he scores on that because he takes off on contact. But Will Smith with a 1-out double. So the Dodgers now with runners at second and third. And Max Muncy coming up.
Did I mention that Will Smith, extra base power? Don't concentrate on the home runs. Well, almost got one right here. Ball came right back to Gallo. Barehanded it.
And Mookie Betts bluffing to go. And the reason he's doing that is he's looking over at his former teammate in Boston, Brock Holt. Just kind of goofing around with him. As Holt held up the baseball to Mookie, showing it to him. He goes, "I've got it." And Betts is saying, "Go ahead, I'll beat it anyway." But they are good friends. They actually lockered right near each other in Boston. Here is Max Muncy with 2 on and 1 out. Max 0 for 1 today, lined out to Odor at third. First time up. He takes low here. There's one other rule that we haven't seen and we really haven't talked about. Up until the 14th, managers will be allowed to re-enter a pitcher, kind of like the Little League re-entry rule. If they take a pitcher out, they want to put him back in, they can do that. And I think that would be in the case of if they rolled an inning, if they finished an inning early with less than 3 outs, and then they wanted the pitcher to maybe take a rest and come back, they can actually do that this year. Although I've not seen anybody do it. But that is available to the managers this year up until the 14th of March. 2-1 pitch coming from Cody to Muncy. Muncy pops this one up. Foul, first base side. Catcher Jonah Heim over near the on-deck circle will make the catch, and Muncy is retired. 2 down for Chris Taylor.
Yeah, that leaving and re-entering, and talk about an official scorekeeping nightmare.
And speaking of rolling an inning,
yeah,
the Rangers have done that.
Yeah.
Kyle Cody has pitched more than 20 pitches, 23. Yeah. So Chris Woodward says
it's an uncle inning.
That's enough. Yes, uncle inning. Uncle inning. Still 4-0. Video highlights, live pitch-by-pitch, breaking news, player updates, stat leaderboards, and more for your world champion Dodgers and the rest of the league. Kenley Jansen takes over here for Walker Buehler. He'll start the bottom of the 4th inning. 27 outings last year, 3-1. 11 saves and 13 opportunities. Opponents at 2-11 against the Dodger closer. Kenley Jansen has made one prior appearance. It was against the Giants and had a near immaculate inning. He had a strikeout on 3 pitches, another strikeout on 3 pitches. He got ahead 0-2, and then a ground ball out ended the inning. And that's as close as you can get to the elusive immaculate inning, but he had that. Wanted to take a couple of extra days to work on some mechanics, and now he faces Nate Lowe, the first baseman, and delivers a strike.
There are big guys, and then there are really big guys. I think Kenley Jansen is about the biggest 6'5" you are going to see.
Yeah, he is a big dude. And he fires one right past Lowe here to get the count to 0-2.
Notice Lowe with a different knob on the bat. We do not have the luxury of a radar gun, so we don't know what the velocity is for Jansen, and that was a curious category a year ago with Jansen.
Seager with a backhand play at short, long throw to get Lowe, and there's one out.
I say curious with Jansen last year on the radar because he would come in and say, wait a minute, pitch at 89. It was a fastball. And then it would take him 3 or 4 pitches and he would gradually build things up. And then when he got the postseason play, he would tickle occasionally 95, maybe 96, but not nearly as often. Even in the mid 90s last year is what we had previously seen.
Left fielder Eli White is 0 for 1. Fly to Betts in right field first time up, and he takes one right down the middle for a strike. Last year, oh, there we go, 88.
And it figures early in spring training the guys have not built up the arm strength.
Kenley Jansen fires home, and that's the first time he has not thrown a strike in spring training. He's thrown 14 spring training pitches. 13 of them have been strikes. Jansen ready to go against Eli White. The pitch. There's an off-speed pitch, a little high. Count goes to 2-1.
That's a good catch by our camera people also to pick up the radar velocity. That's now what we do not know is when the last time that the radar gun that's being used at the stadium was calibrated.
2-1 pitch. And a shot hit right up the middle and a base hit for Eli White. First hit surrendered by Kenley Jansen this spring. Another thing, let's talk about the pitch repertoire of the closer. Known for his cutter. And in 2020, opponents hit 192 against his cutter. Gave up 2 home runs. He struck out 11 and threw the 2-seamer quite a bit. Opponents hit 267 against the sinker. Did not give up a home run anytime he threw a 2-seamer. But the one thing that was effective that he didn't throw very often was the slider. He only threw 13 sliders, and opponents went 1 for 13 against that pitch, an .077 average. And you've got to wonder if maybe he mixes in a slider a little bit more often due to the success that he had last season with it.
You're showing 87 on that pitch. Tim, you and I had a conversation earlier today about Jansen, who I brought up from 2 years ago, is that we began to see him throw more 4-seam fastballs and the catchers asking for a very high pitch. With the target, they were not even down in the crouch.
1-0, runner takes off. Smith guns it down there, but just a little too late. Eli White a stolen base.
That is a weak spot of Jansen. I mentioned he's 6'5". He takes a long time to get the ball to home plate, and as a result, some teams have been able to pick his pocket and steal bases.
Straight steal by White. That was the object of the game for him, just to go right ahead. No quick peek in at home plate. A lot of times you see a runner do that. This ball's popped up. Jonah Heim. Foul, first base side. Max Muncy right on the warning path in front of the Ranger dugout makes the catch. 2 men out.
And stolen base was not a weapon that the Rangers used much last year. 27 stolen bases in 34 attempts. The Dodgers actually had a few more stolen bases than that. 36. They were caught 10 times. For Chris Wood, we mentioned before too, is about from an offensive standpoint trying to figure out what's going to happen. When he scored 224 runs, which was 29th in baseball, only one team scored fewer runs than the Rangers last year. So 224 for them, but they gave up 312 runs.
There's Delino DeShields at the plate. 2 outs, runner at second base. 4-0 Rangers. DeShields doubled and scored in the second inning. .2020 right-handed hitters hit .261 against Kenley. He owned lefties. .159. DeShields a right-handed hitter, bounces it to short. Seager behind it, sidearm flip to first, and that's the inning. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. No Dodger errors. We head to the 5th. It's Texas 4, the Dodgers nothing. The latest latest team news and ticket information straight to your inbox. Register for Dodgers email alerts by visiting Dodgers.com/newsletter today. You don't want to just sip the information you get. You want to guzzle it down. There's a lot of it. Well, not bad for Kenley Jansen. Gave up a single. That was it. Allowed a stolen base, but faced 4 men. Didn't have a strikeout. Got 2 ground ball outs to Seager and a pop out foul. And Chris Taylor was walking to the plate when Rangers manager Chris Woodward decided to flip the last inning with 2 outs. And the Dodgers threatening. They had 2nd and 3rd. And Taylor, last season with runners in scoring position, hit .342. You don't know if that was in the back of his mind. Probably not in spring training, but it was an opportunity for the Dodgers to get on the board. That just went by the boards due to the new spring training rules.
It's another point when you start to say how important are wins and losses in spring training. You don't even have to go to the bullpen to bring in a reliever to close out a threat after 20 pitches now.
High fastball.
Just say uncle.
Well, that's what I did in my scorebook. You said that.
I did too. I wrote that uncle.
I just wrote uncle. It's an uncle in it. Easier to remember why. I just write uncle down. And I guess it depends on what club you're around or what state you're training in. Either Arizona or Florida, people are saying rolling innings. Other people are saying flipping an inning. Which is just new baseball vernacular as Taylor crushes one down the left field side, but it is hooking foul. They clear the stadium entirely or not? Maybe not. Let's see. Dad got it for his son, who may have lost the ice cream. He's got an empty ice cream cone. Is that what that is? He lost the ice cream on top. Taylor takes high ball 4. Dodgers with a base runner to start the 5th. Yep, he lost his ice cream.
Yeah, well, you can go back for another ice cream. You can't go back for another baseball.
Gavin Lux is 0 for 1. Struck out swinging to end the 2nd. Along with Rick Monday and Kirsten Watson, Tim Neverett with you on radio and TV today. We're enjoying the simulcast of Dodger baseball on this Sunday afternoon. Dodgers in Surprise, Arizona for the 2nd time in 3 days. Played Kansas City a little earlier in the week there, Friday. Pretty nice day today, touching 80 degrees. A little bit of a breeze blowing out to left. Right on left matchup here as Cody fires outside to the left-handed hitting Lux. 2 balls, no strikes to the Dodgers second baseman.
Well, Lux was all set to leave some cold weather out of Kenosha, Wisconsin. He had actually committed come to the Valley of the Sun. He had committed to go to Arizona State before the Dodgers said, hey, look, we'd like you as the #1 pick.
It's a high fly ball foul down the left field side that slices into the seats. Great one-handed catch. Well, Dodger fans play pretty good defense, don't they? There's a ton of Dodger fans.
Better than 3 guys we saw. Was it 3 days ago?
Yeah, it was
trying to catch home runs, and then there was the gentleman that made a couple of good catches.
Lux slams this one to the gap in left center field. This ball is back and it bounces off the track and off the wall. The Shields will get it in quickly. They will hold Taylor at third base as Lux pulls into second with a double. Boy, a sharp opposite field double for Gavin Lux.
Gavin Lux this spring has already shown some power using that 6'2" frame to begin with. So things did not go his way last spring, but boy, he's made up for in the early goings this year. It's fun to see because you know that there was a lot of stuff going on from a mental standpoint and frustration last year. The second base position was really there for him to reach out and grab, and he just could not hold on to it.
Sheldon Neuse 0 for 1. He bounced out of the 3rd inning to the shortstop Kiner Falefa. 2 on, nobody out. And Noisy will take a fastball just inside. Lux is now batting .500 in spring training. He's 5 for 10. And the Dodger hitters are starting to come alive. The first 9 went 0 for 9 in the game. The last 6 are 3 for 5 with a pair of doubles and a walk. Breaking ball taken for a strike.
And you got 3 of the youngsters in a row. Rex on deck, and then Peters, chance to show their wares, and somebody hopefully is going to be coming through, and Rex getting ready for his at bat and trying to pick up some runs and get on the board here.
Well, Noisy waits. This one fouled back.
Noisy showing the reaction. You see some hitters in the early going. You see the ball, it's in a hittable zone. You feel confident about it, but the timing isn't quite there yet. You see a lot of hitters will come back, and hear a lot of hitters sometimes come back in the dugout and say, I jammed myself.
Noisy, another Texas guy out of Fort Worth, went to the University of Oklahoma. Swings, fouls this one off. He's still 1-2. Last year, 25 games with the Athletics. 2019. He was in AAA in Las Vegas with the Aviators and hit .317 with 27 home runs and 102 runs batted in 126 AAA games.
Oh, he's got some big power.
He tested out the beautiful new ballpark they have there in 2019. The Vegas ballpark is tremendous.
That's 3 pitches in a row that I think that he's a little frustrated, because those are pitches that normally he would handle much better. He's fouled all 3 of them off.
Nobody out, second and third. Dodgers down 4-0 in the top of the 5th. A 1-2 count. 6'7" right-hander Kyle Cody to the belt. He delivers, and it's low and outside. A check swing. Did he go? An appeal at first. He did not go. Says Jansen Visconti. Taking apart Nick Lynch, the umpire at first right now. So he's rotated over there. And a 2-2 count. Lux off of second, Taylor off of third. And the pitch. Fastball outside, full count.
Good take. Wasn't going to go for it. Now he's run the count full, 3-2.
So the payoff pitch to Noisy from Kyle Cody. Here it comes. And it's hit on the ground right side into right field, a base hit. Taylor comes in to score. Lux will hold it third. It's 4-1. A sharply hit ground ball to right. And the designated hitter today, Sheldon Noisy, has a run batted in.
Well, those are the type of at-bats that really impress managers and coaches. You have 2 strikes, you foul off 3 pitches. And while the hitter may have been a little irritated, he didn't handle those pitches a little bit better. Now pitch low and away. He goes the opposite way and hit it hard.
Well, I have a theory right now, Rick, because Kyle Cody's at 19 pitches, one away from 20. And the Rangers don't have a lot of pitchers on the list today.
So
nobody out. I'm guessing they're going to see another rolled inning.
Another
here.
uncle?
Yeah, we're going to have.
Well, it maybe cost the Dodgers some runs in the 4th, and yeah, it's a sparse crew down there. More coaches than pitchers.
Nobody warming up. Chris Woodward only had Dane Dunning and Hyun-Jong Yang on his pitching list today after Cody. Thought Jordan Lyles might go 2 innings, but he was held to 1.
But there's no batter minimum. In other words, there's no minimum number of batters that you have to face before you can use that get out of jail card.
Just 20 pitches.
Just 20.
Yeah, which he's over now. Zach Rex cuts and misses. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Rex.
2 batters into it, or guy walks the bases loaded, and
yeah, by rule he could end the inning right now. Got to finish the at bat, but I mean, he could end it quick whenever he wants after this. Pitches inside, 2-2 to the left-handed hitting Zach Rex.
for Rex out of high school, he was actually committed to go to Air Force Academy, then transfer at the University of Kentucky.
Air Force Academy, beautiful. I was there actually a month ago. There's a ground ball slowly hit toward the middle. Kiner Falefa steps on second, throws on to first. Pitcher's best friend, a double play, but Lux comes in to score, and it's 4-2. And they are going to roll the inning, so the run will count. And the inning ends after 2 outs. We'll take a break. It's the Rangers 4, Dodgers 2. The new pitcher for the Dodgers as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning is Victor Gonzalez, the left-hander. Dodgers trailing 4-2. Victor last year, 15 appearances, 3-0. A couple of very, very impressive numbers. His earned run average, 1.33. Opponent average against, 176. And obviously the impressive numbers go a lot deeper than just those two, but almost out of nowhere, Victor Gonzalez, who the year before had only 15 AAA appearances in his life, and things just really came together for him.
What was really impressive too, Tim, is a young pitcher that came up, and even though the lack of experience, he just seemed to get it.
He'll face Isaiah Kiner Falefa. Deliver a fastball outside.
And by get it, I'm talking about working to hitters. You don't have to throw it 100 miles an hour all the time. He was able to change speeds, change location, did not fall behind in the count to a great number of hitters.
Stretch, shrug of the shoulders, now the pitch. This one's hit in the air, right center field. Outman is in for Mookie Betts, and he makes the catch. 1 out. But looking at some of the other numbers with Gonzalez, you think about the earned run average. Well, among relief pitchers, that's the 3rd best ERA in the National League for 2020. And the batting average against of 176 was 6th best in the National League among relievers. And he only allowed runs in 3 of his 15 appearances. Brock Holt. Oh, has to get out of the way.
Come on, good try.
Pulled it up and in and under the chin. But of the runs that Gonzalez allowed, when it really counted during the month of September, he only allowed 1. In July and August, Victor went 2-0 with an even ERA of 2. And in September, he went 1-0 with an ERA of 0.79. And opponents hit only 167 against him. So he got better and better as time went on. Swinging at this by Holt. 1 ball, 2 strikes to the second baseman for the Rangers. Postseason, he was excellent as well. A little roller to the right side. Dodgers in the shift, and there's an out at first base.
Right field, number 13, Joey Gallo.
Chris Taylor was alone on the left side of the infield. And he throws him out, so 2 men out. Was he not? No, he was on the right side. Charge. Joey Gallo, a home run and a deep fly out, a 400-foot out to center field. left-on-left matchup, and this one fouled back. The left-handed batters in 2020 against Victor Gonzalez were only 5 for 35. It's a 143 average. Right-handers were 8 for 39, still good at 205. But he did a really good job against lefties. Victor to the belt, the kick, the pitch. Fouled back, and it's 0-2 on Gallo.
Kind of a three-quarter delivery. It's not a sidearm delivery, but I would imagine, too, from a left-handed perspective as a hitter, it probably appears as if his release point is behind you.
You know, the other thing, the breaking balls he throws to lefties got a ton of chases.
Yeah, because it sweeps away from them. And again, first initially, you may say, hey, the breaking ball is right at me.
This pitch fouled back. It's 0-2. 94% of the breaking balls that Victor Gonzalez threw last year ended up located outside of the strike zone.
So a memo to hitters. Breaking ball, don't swing.
Yeah. Against low curveballs and sliders last season, opponents hit just 0-33. Very good. Right there in the inside corner. That stood Gallo up for strike 3. Now Victor Gonzalez, a clean inning, retires the side in order, punching out Gallo. Go to the 6th, 4-2, Texas. Gear. The Top of the Park store is now open Tuesday through Saturday at Dodger Stadium. See Instagram at Dodgers Top of the Park for store hours and details on how to purchase for home delivery. Victor Gonzalez. This guy is sneaky good, isn't he?
And you look at the arm angle for those that are on the television side. It's not quite the side arm, but it is way out there on a three-quarter delivery. And they're going over the rotation on the release point of the breaking ball.
You got to feel really good for a guy like Victor Gonzalez, who almost quit baseball. We've told you the story a number of times. Made the big leagues last year. This spring training has to be so much different for him, knowing that he's got a spot.
And fortunately, he was surrounded by people that cared about him and believed in him.
Former White Sox prospect Dane Dunning, who was the return in the trade for Lance Lynn, will face DJ Peters. First ball swinging. Peters cracks one down to the left side, and he is out quickly, 5-3.
Another first pitch swing.
Dunning is 26 years of age. 2019, he missed the season with Tommy John surgery, and last year came back in time to make 7 starts. Worked 34 innings, and he was fully planning on being part of the White Sox rotation. He said that, you know, with what the White Sox had done in terms of upgrading the team and continuing to upgrade the team, there was a lot of optimism on the south side of Chicago. As James Outman takes the ball inside. 1-0 from Dunning. But the business of baseball gets in the way sometimes, and Dunning was sent to the Rangers. It could turn out very well for him. He could make this rotation for Texas. 2-0, another pitch inside to the left-handed hitting Outman.
If you're a pitcher and you join your ball club that was 23rd in earned run average in Major League Baseball, ERA collectively over 5, you have some goods that you can show.
Pitch just off the plate. That's 3-0. A bunch of substitutions now for Chris Woodward's Rangers. He's getting a lot of guys in late in this ball game as we start the 6th inning of what will be an 8-inning game today. 3-1 to James Outman. Outman's been impressive this first week. He's getting a solid look anyway. There's Garrett Clevenger warming up in the Dodger pen. He'll come in for Victor Gonzalez. Pitch inside, and Outman draws a walk. Dodgers have a man aboard.
Well, for Ottman gets on base, he's been impressive in the early going with a defensive standpoint, offensive standpoint as well.
Corey Seager batting again.
This be Seager's last at bat, be the third one of the afternoon.
Dunning's pitch. He's wrapped foul first base side. You know, people around baseball, some like him, some hate him, but they talk about the on-pace numbers, like so-and-so's on pace to do this, on pace to do that. We're going to hear a lot of that this year because of the 60-game schedule last year. We'll get it out of the way with Corey Seager because it's all really good, because he was on pace for over 40 home runs last year. If you look at his numbers, he had 15 home runs. In a regular season, he would have had 40, would have had almost 103 runs batted in, which would have been his most since 2016. And he would have been on pace for about 111 RBIs, which would have been a career high, like his 40 projected home runs would have been. So those on-pace numbers are all right. But they look good for Seager as he swings and hammers one to center field. And over to get it is Thompson, the new center fielder. Back to first base goes Outman.
Number 16.
Joe Thompson out in center field. There's another thing that comes into the fold as well when you say on pace in 2021. In particular, when we are going to be discussing home run balls, because Major League Baseball has come out and said the baseballs themselves are a little different this year.
Will Smith now batting against Dunning with 2 outs and a man aboard in a 4-2 game. Texas leading, top of the 6th. Smith cut and a miss, strike one.
And I've not heard anything from pitchers that are saying, well, the baseball is different. And we cannot say yay or nay on the difference in a baseball, and we can only assume that they are using the baseball now that they will be using during the regular season, which they're saying is not as lively as the one that they had previously been using, which had the characteristics of a Super Bowl.
There were a lot of home runs hit. The Dodgers hit a lot of them too. You know, but you're right. We haven't heard anything, any comments from pitchers saying the ball feels differently or anything like that. I guess, you know, the longer sample size we get, the larger sample size we get, the more data we'll get in return.
Well, there are those that believe that the balls that they were previously using, if you walk past a dozen of freshly opened baseballs, you could hear them in unison singing "Fly Me to the Moon."
Will Smith with a 3-ball 1-strike count on it. And the Ibanez is the new second baseman playing in the shift to the left side for Texas. And a strike call to Will. Fastball, and it's 3-2.
I've not seen too many 3-2 counts today because the hitters have just not gone that deeply into counts.
We've mentioned it a couple of times earlier today as well. Probably more first ball swinging this early in spring training than we've seen in quite some time. Smith launches one to left field. Back after it is Eli White. He'll make the catch and retire the side. Dodgers leave him in. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th. Texas 4, the Dodgers 2. 4 runs on 6 hits for Texas. 2 runs, 4 hits for the Dodgers. Fans younger and older on hand here. Here's Garrett Clevenger. He's an interesting person out of the bullpen from the left side, trying to earn his way into this bullpen on the major league roster. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Clevenger was part of a 3-way trade that took place at the end of the year in 2020. Philadelphia and Tampa involved in that. The Dodgers sending minor league infielder Dylan Paulson and a player to be named or cash to Tampa Bay, while the Rays sent left-handed pitcher Jose Alvarado to Philadelphia to complete that transaction. So the three teams, Tampa Bay, Philadelphia, and the Dodgers, and players changing uniforms, and Clevenger now a Dodger. Chris Davis, the designated hitter, 1 for 2 today. Singled and scored in the first. Flied out foul to Mookie Betts in right field in the third inning. And Clevenger whistles on a strike to him. 2 balls and 1 strike. Corey Seager out of the ball game for the rest of the way today. Elliott Soto takes over at short. So Gavin Lux shifted over a little bit to the other side of second base. Swing and a miss by Davis late on that fastball. 3 men on the left side for the Dodgers. 1 on the right. That's Muncy. In the outfield, 3 across of Omar Estevez, DJ Peters, and James Outman. Garrett Clevenger set to go. His pitch. Outside for a ball. 1-2. This is the 3rd spring training game Clevenger has appeared in. So far, he's allowed 1 unearned run in 2 innings. And his big league debut last September 17th with the Phillies against the Mets. 1-2. Yeah, swing and a miss at a ball chased in the dirt, and Chris Davis is out.
This is called a wild swing, that back foot slider.
That's a new baseball. I'm sure Clevenger remembered his debut. That's one of those dates that gets burned into your memory. What do you remember about your debut?
Drove all night from Mobile, Alabama to Kansas City, Missouri, joined the ball club. Checked in the hotel 7 o'clock in the morning, was told we've got to work out at 11. It was in the lineup that night.
Oh, you want to be a big leaguer, kid?
Yeah.
That's what it takes.
New job. I'm available.
Hey, that's what it, you know, and you probably didn't care one bit.
No.
Sleep
Not
deprivation.
at all.
Sure, it didn't matter to you.
But I'll be honest with you, I needed 2 belts. I had 1. That was in my my pants. I needed another belt to stop my knees from banging together, because all of a sudden, what you've been dreaming about as a child, and playing in the backyard and at school and on weekends, you play overline, or maybe you get a game together. All of a sudden, it's real.
Batter is Josh Jung out of Texas Tech. He's got a 1-2 count on him. I know you've told me before. Who's the first pitcher you faced?
You know, I was just thinking, I could not tell you right now. I'd have to do research, because that first day and the first at bat in particular is one gigantic blur.
1-2. Fastball high, and it's 2-2 to Jung. First hit, though, you remember.
Yeah, that one you remember. Double off of Jim Palmer.
I'll bet Jim remembers that too.
No.
He doesn't remember?
No.
He remembers a lot. He's got a great memory. Ball lifted into shallow center field. DJ Peters will have to let it bounce in front of him for a base hit. So Jung is aboard.
No, there are things you remember. You remember, you know. No, I'll tell you back. No, I do remember. Jim Longboard is who I faced.
Okay, gentleman Jim.
Yep.
Okay. Dr. Longboard.
Where's he at right now? He's only 9. We're just going to tell him, like, get moving. And if we have the right situation,
Did you remember where you played and who you played against as far as the team is? The Red Sox. You remember your first home run, who you hit it off of, and where it was hit?
Pitch on the way to low, left-handed batter takes the ball.
And then the memory is very similar to, surviving. Is our mind has a great way of not remembering uncomfortable or pain. So you block out a lot of 0 for 4s and 5s.
You hope you don't have to block out too many of those. 0 for 5s, 0 for 6. All those times your team batted around and you made the first and last out in the inning.
Yes,
those types of things.
Oh, that's when you know you're really having
that's
fun.
a bad day.
Because invariably, that's when you hear that one guy or one section of the stands that just continues to remind you.
That check swing roller, that's going to be, I think, a byproduct of the reduced capacities around sports this year.
Oh, you hear that one voice.
You're going to hear, you don't have that white noise where you have that in a.
Well, there was one guy, I told
crowd.
the story before, there was one guy in Philadelphia. It was on me.
That's right.
For 8 or 9 years. From the moment I stepped out of the dugout, even during batting practice and during the regular games. Every night in Philadelphia.
Throw to first base, runner back.
And he would yell, "I'm under you, bum," and everything else. He was never profane. I never turned. I never looked at him. I never gestured. And I hit pretty well in Philadelphia. And one night, I'm getting ready to batting practice. Get up and I said, "Well, let's get ready. This guy's going to get on me." I heard nothing. The game started. Heard nothing. Had a terrible game. The next day we go out, come out of the dugout. "Monday, you bum." I went, "That's it. Been listening to you for 9 years. I've never said a word. I want to know where in the heck you were last night." I think his daughter was graduating or something like that. And I said, "Don't you ever do that again." I came out to bat in the first at bat, and he goes, "Hey, come on, Rick." I go, "Really? After 9 years, finally?"
Turned him in your favor. Should have done that 9 years earlier.
No, it was a brief turnaround. It's Philadelphia.
That's right. Talk about short memory. 3 balls, 2 strikes now to Nate Lowe.
That's like in Philadelphia when they built that ballpark. That action continues for the Dodgers, and Santana will be coming in. They had the terraced bullpen section out in right center field. And to begin with, the Phillies wanted the penthouse. They wanted the upper one. But they were too close to the fans. They were leaning over the rail after the first homestand. They said, "No, put the visiting team up there. We want to get away from it." And that was their home ballpark.
Runner goes, throw down is there in plenty of time, and Joey is out by a mile. So the Rangers run themselves out of one. And Will Smith guns them out. Matinee baseball tomorrow afternoon from Camelback Ranch. Dodgers the home team against the White Sox. Then back to a nighttime schedule. Evening schedule, if you will. Tuesday night against the Reds. Then Wednesday and Thursday, Joe and Orel will return for those 2 night games. And Rick and I will be back for the Friday day game against Cleveland. The Dunning stays out there to pitch the 7th. 4-2 the score. Texas in front. They scored 3 in the first. A home run by Joey Gallo, then a 2-run home run to the opposite field by Rougned Odor. And then a couple of doubles in the second inning produced another run. The line of the Shields score. Max Muncy has one thrown at his feet, and he goes down. Muncy getting an extra at bat today. He's 0 for 2. Two balls, no strikes to Max. Still a number of guys we have not seen performing at all this spring. We should see in the coming days. Keibert Ruiz, the catcher, who reportedly had some visa issues. Got into the United States a little late and is in Arizona. He's gone through the intake process. Dave Roberts said that Ruiz kept himself in very good shape, and good enough shape where they expect to get him into games as early as next week. Also, Dave was talking about a couple of pitchers today out of the bullpen. Joe Kelly not ready to go. He has been doing some work, but the way that Dave described it is he said that Joe is a ways away right now, dealing with an undisclosed injury. Pitch high to Muncy. The count full 3-2. Guzdar Graterol will be coming along shortly, we think. And Dave also saying that he expects to see David Price start in a game next week. Not sure which one. Payoff pitch is grounded to second, and Muncy is out 4-3. So one gone in the Dodger half of the 7th inning.
Well, and just conversing with our man on the scene as well, David Vassegh, he said that Joe Kelly is throwing in the bullpen sessions. We don't know how frequently at Camelback Ranch, Glendale. We don't know the overall strength. In other words, is it 80% velocity, 90%? We don't know that part. So it's a process. And opening day again is 25 days away.
There's still time. Chris Taylor takes ball 1. Taylor is 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored today. Dane Dunning kicks, fires, and the breaking ball down low. Check swing. He did not go. So it's 2-0.
I really thought that Chris Taylor, if we go back to 2 and 3 years ago, pound for pound, I thought hit the ball as hard as anyone in baseball. He's a guy too. He wants to play as often as he can, and that's where players are at their best for the most part. Then there are some players that say, look, you don't want to play them all the time because they come as they say, exposed. There are some weaknesses, but Chris Taylor does not fall in that category. And you look at Gavin Lux, who's on deck. He's a guy that wants to play all the time as well.
Taylor hits one high in the air to right center. Getting over there after it, Bubba Thompson. He'll make the catch. 2 down.
Second baseman, number 9, Gavin Lux.
Now Lux will come up.
You know, this is only part of the routine as well, and that's the playing the game and working out, and then the off hours. Players, it's off hours. For coaches and front office personnel, many nights, many evenings, they're having reviews of the personnel and how it's progressing and things that they may want to be working on.
Breaking ball good for a strike. 0-1 to Lux.
But they're always evaluating the players, always evaluating where the team is from a roster standpoint and health standpoint.
Lux hits it sharply on the ground to the right side. Diving stop by the second baseman, Andy Ibanez. He's able to throw out Lux. Dodgers 3 up, 3 down. Stretch time. Middle of the 7th. Texas 4. Dodgers 2. Spring appearance for right-hander Dennis Santana as he takes over. Faced the Rangers in the bottom of the 7th inning. Texas 4 runs on 7 hits. The Dodgers 2 runs on 4 hits. Dennis made the opening day roster last year. Spent the bulk of the season in the big leagues. This year he's got his sights set on staying there the entire year. From San Pedro de Macorís in the Dominican Republic. I think like any kid from that town on that island probably had dreams of being a big league shortstop.
Well, his dad may have had dreams about him being an NBA player because his dad was a huge basketball fan and named Dennis Santana and named for Dennis Rodman.
Just watched the Michael Jordan documentary recently. Have you seen that?
No.
There's a flip on to first base from short. Eli White is out. A 1 pitch, 1 out. Dennis Santana with a quick out. Let's go down to Kirsten. She's with Gavin Lux.
Thanks, guys. Hey, Gavin, how did it feel to be out there today?
Good. It's just fun getting out and playing baseball. You know, it feels like we haven't played in a while, so just getting out and playing and competing is always it's always a good time. So just happy to be out.
Now, Dave Roberts said that you coming into camp, that you just looked really good and more prepared than ever. How did you prepare for this season?
Yeah, kind of similar off-season as I always have. Went home to Wisconsin, worked out, saw family and friends, which was great to get away and you know, just see some people that you have your whole life. So going home, working out, and then going out to the a couple weeks here and there to Dodger Stadium, and that was it, man. There was nothing really different.
Now, you've been 5 for 11 at bats through spring training, just under 500. You seem a bit more comfortable there. Were there any adjustments that you've made, or is it just kind of, you know, a new year and refinding your ground?
I think a little bit of both. I tried to tone some things down and simplify my gather and my load and my swing and try to make it more repeatable. So throughout the course of a full season, it's more, it's like I can repeat it every day and I'm not searching so much. So just trying to simplify things and just go out there and then playing and shut my mind off. And that's kind of been the focus so far.
Thanks so much, Gavin.
Yep, you got it. Thanks.
Pride of Kenosha right there, Gavin Lux. Working on repeating the swing. I know that Gavin told me last spring about the indoor facilities that are now available in Wisconsin. Wisconsin's a tough place. You'd think to train for baseball in the winter, but more and more indoor facilities have popped up. Now you're seeing more players from Wisconsin get to the big leagues. You look at Jared Kelenic with Seattle. You look at Dalton Varsho with the Diamondbacks, another Wisconsin kid. His dad Gary, longtime big leaguer, was born and raised Wisconsin, still lives there.
I guarantee you, Lux is enjoying the weather here much more than he would be at home.
Yes, Heim bounces it to second. Underhand flip there in plenty of time.
Kenosha right now it's 37. The wind chill is 29.
Michael Busch making that play at second base. Dave Roberts has made some substitutions. Busch at second. Cody Hosey is over at third. Rangel Ravelo is at first. And Tim Fedorovich back behind the plate. Bubba Thompson batting. Santana fires a strike. It didn't used to be as easy to work out indoors years ago in the cold weather areas, and a lot of guys would relocate in the winter so that they could work out outside. It's just a bit low. 1-1 to Bubba Thompson. You never had to worry about that, though. Santa Monica guy and Arizona
State. In fact, a lot of colleges, after they're working out their baseball team indoors in the field houses or whatever facilities they have, many of them make their journey to Arizona, Southern California to begin their baseball seasons.
The Wisconsin players don't get that many games in high school outdoors, relatively speaking, to players in California, Arizona, Texas, Florida.
Exactly.
Swing and a miss, and Thompson tied up as Santana gets him out. So good effort today by Dennis Santana as we go to the top of the 8th, which will be the final inning today. 4-2 Texas. For the Dodgers, top of the 8th inning, new pitcher, left-hander Hyunjung Yang, who is out of Gwangju in South Korea. Spent his entire life there, really, because he grew up in that town. That town also has a KBO franchise, the Kia Tigers. Drafted him out of high school. He spent his entire career there. He's 33 years old. He just had a birthday on the 1st of March. So it'll be Hyunjung Yang getting a look. And Sheldon Noisy, the designated hitter, will get his third at bat. He's 1 for 2. And some action in the bullpen as Gerardo Carrillo warming up, which would indicate that regardless of the fact Texas is ahead, we'll be playing in the bottom of the 8th inning. Carrillo was one of the scheduled pitchers for the Dodgers today, so they want to get him in. And that's pretty much been what we've seen so far in spring training in the shortened games, regardless of the score, whether the home team's winning or not. They'll play the bottom of the inning. Noyes fouls one away. Matt Watley is the new catcher for Texas, catching Hyunjong Yang. Played for the Kia Tigers his entire pro career. Began in 2007. His manager this last year was a familiar name, Matt Williams. Giant Cleveland Indian third baseman, big league manager of the Nationals, and was with the Diamondbacks. Swing and a miss, and Noisy out on strikes.
I think also was teammates with the former Dodger. Unfortunately, passing away too early. Jose Lima. And they were very good friends, very close friends. Egg was saying, look, I learned a lot from Jose Lima, and some of his mannerisms very similar to Jose.
Curveball up high to Omar Estevez. See Omar a lot as an infielder, but getting a shot playing left field today. Ball and one strike. The count to Omar Estevez. And for Yang, his best year in Korea was 2017. It was his first 20-win season. He went 20-6. 193 in a third innings pitched. He struck out 158. Which was not a career high for him, but it was close. His career high 165 in 2014.
Yeah, he was the MVP of the league that year.
Pitch fouled back by Estevez. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 33-year-old Hyunjong Yang from Gwangju in South Korea. And Estevez hits this one high in the air to center field. Bubba Thompson fighting the sun with his glove. He'll make the catch, and there are 2 gone in the top of the 8th.
Center fielder, number 70, B.J. Peters.
B.J. Peters, the batter. Well, you got to figure for Yang, though, he spent his entire career in the same place. He was a very, very effective pitcher in the KBO. So, you know, why not? Like,
and we understand he had control issues to begin with early in his career.
He wants to try to make a big league roster. So after this year, his team posted him, and Rangers taking a shot with him. One ball, no strikes to the right-handed hitting outfielder D.J. Peters. Pitch in the dirt, and it's 2-0. Peters waits, and the pitch. Outside corner, knee high for a called strike. 2-1. Dodgers 3-2-2 so far in the spring. Rangers 2-2-2. They had a day off already. Peters hits a high fly ball deep left center and gone. Hold on. D.J. Peters, his second of the spring. It's a 4-3 ball game. A no-doubter for DJ.
He didn't miss any of it. High majestic blast. Got a good pitch on a 2-1 count. Breaking ball that didn't do a whole lot of breaking, but boy, it changed directions in a hurry. The front of the Dodger shirt smothers it.
I don't know if that qualifies as a diving catch, though. Even though he finished with a dive.
No, someone yelled timber right before he went down.
Get some grass stain perhaps on that brand new Mookie Betts jersey. He could say, hey, see, I was involved. Put the world champions patch on it.
At 6 o'clock tonight, he'd be saying it was a diving catch.
Yeah. It was a dive.
Well, how do the judges rate this one? A 1.
So I think if organist Dieter Rule were here, he'd be playing the Hawaii 5-0 theme right now for 5-0 on the back of the jersey. Diving catch. Look at that. Yep. I got it. I got it. I got it.
Cue up the theme from Rocky.
Three and 1 to Outman. Has to follow up DJ Peters. Peters with his second spring home run. Peters, by the way, 4 for 9 with 2 long balls and 3 RBIs. And Outman smacks one into right center. He'll take a big turnaround first, think about it, and put the brakes on.
Outman just continues to impress and takes some very good swings at balls.
You kind of get the feeling that Outman, in spite of not having a season last year, continued to prepare, and it seems to show.
Yeah, and I think it's a good point, because the development of a lot of players as a result of the minor leagues not getting underway last year was a wasted year, unless they went to the nth degree of making sure that they worked out, and not just going out, well, I'm going to throw the ball around, I'm going to take a few swings. I mean, honestly, work out on it and really stress themselves.
DJ Peters continues to swing, and did so last year. He looks ready for a first base by Yak. Curtis Terry, the new first baseman. Thinking 1 to Soto. He's a veteran of the minor leagues. Made his big league debut last year with the Angels. And had to feel special for him after 10 years in the minors. Pitch. Swung on, broken bat. And this ball will be caught as Hernandez. Yanni Hernandez went way out there to get it. DJ Peters smacks his second spring training home run, and there was little doubt this ball would land. Dodgers trail by a run. Well, Gerardo Carrillo is now in for the Dodgers. His first look in spring training. And the last pitched at Rancho Cucamonga 2019. He'll face Yanni Hernandez, the shortstop. Just made that nice play to retire Soto. Bottom of the 8th inning. This will be it. 3 outs to get in this game. Dodgers trailing 4-3 to the Rangers. This is the spring debut of Carrillo. 5th season in the Dodger organization. Was with the club last year at the alternate site over at USC. So he continued to work there.
Just watching him warm up. Very live arm.
Native of Guadalajara. The pitch. That's high. 3-0. The word on Carrillo is he's got a lively fastball. High 90s fastball, has touched 100 in the past. Right-hander, nobody on, nobody out. 3-0 pitch. And he walked it high and away. So control the problem here in his spring debut. As Hernandez trots down to first base.
High velocity, and the pitches were also high. So a good time maybe just to say, look, just take a couple of deep breaths. As you mentioned, his first appearance, and you figure that he's rather amped up.
Now we'll work out of the stretch. Facing Andy Ibanez. Fastball catching the outside corner for a strike. It's 0-1. 2019, Carrillo at Rancho Made career highs in games with 23, starts with 21. Career high in innings, 86, and strikeouts, the same number. He had 86. So looking to build off of those numbers in 2021. Delivers one down and in. 94-mile-an-hour heat. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count to Andy Ibanez. Went in as a straight change for Brock Holt earlier. Chris Woodward basically made straight changes in his lineup today. Some managers do, some don't. Sometimes it depends on the day. Sometimes it depends on how the manager wants to do it.
If they're grouchy that day.
Yep. Just depends.
If they're really grouchy, they'll make 8 changes all at once and they'll bat in different orders.
I'll show those people keeping score. Ibanez chops one foul. I mean, we know this for years and years. You go into spring training knowing that your scorebook's going to be a mess no matter what.
Oh, especially the first week or 10 days.
Yeah. It's just the way it is. We've added a new scoring decision into the scorebook today. The uncle rule. They just say uncle to an inning after 20 pitches, as the Rangers did twice today. Both times the Dodgers had
and you heard
base.
it here first, folks.
That's right. Yeah, back in the 4th inning, the Dodgers had runners at second and third. Chris Taylor was coming up, and they just ended the inning. Foul ball at the plate with a runner going. 2-ball, 2-strike count. Hernandez has to go back to first. 1-run ball game, bottom of the 8th. Texas 4, Dodgers 3. Two and two. Throw over to first base. Right there. You see that dove right in the middle of your screen? That's
Yeah,
on
there's a
top of
couple of
the
doves that are on the wire, the backstop.
It's been there for quite a while.
Yeah. Just a peaceful afternoon.
Thai squad right there. Getting the bird's eye view.
That can't be fun at the old ballpark. Even the doves want to see baseball right now.
That's right. Payoff pitch to Ibanez. Swings and misses, and Carrillo strikes him out. One gone in the Texas 8th. I liked it. Look.
Right fielder number 53, Adolis Garcia.
Adolis Garcia went in to play right field earlier, an inning or so ago. It's his first time up. Takes outside for a ball. Ball and no strikes to Garcia. Tomorrow, Julio Urias will be back on the hill against the White Sox. The White Sox will counter with Mike Wright. It'll be a Monday afternoon, noon Pacific time start. TV only tomorrow right here on SNLA. Yours truly, Rick, and Kirsten will be back for that tomorrow. Tuesday night, Jimmy Nelson will get the start against Sonny Gray in Goodyear. Dodgers and Reds will play. Garcia lifts this one in the air to right field, and Outman puts it away for out number 2.
Pitch hitting number 74, Steele Walker.
Carrillo gets 2 outs after walking the first man. Hernandez was the only walk issued by Dodger pitching today. Walker Buehler had the rough first inning. 2 outs, 2 strikes on Joey Gallo. He hits a solo homer. Chris Davis squeaked a base hit in there, and then Rougned Odor went oppo. 2-run shot. That was the big damage there. And a line drive looper into right center for a base hit. Outman will retrieve it as Hernandez gets to third.
Third baseman, number 70, Josh Young.
Steele Walker on the base hit. He came up to pinch hit. There's a name, right? Steele Walker. There he is, taking the lead. Former Phillies catcher John Russell. Remember John Russell?
Yeah.
He's got 2 sons. One is named Steele, another is named Stone. Pretty solid. Here's the pitch to Josh Jung. It's outside. 1 ball and no strikes. 2 down and 2 on. Bottom of the 8th. Last of the last today. John was last with Buck Showalter's staff in Baltimore, but now is a coach at IMG in Bradenton, Florida. Runs their baseball program. One-0 pitch now from Correa. And a bouncing ball down to short. Soto goes the short way, get the force out. Ball game. Final score will be 4-3. Texas winning it. Correa gets to mop up today. DJ Peters with a home run for the Dodgers. And now it's back to Camelback Ranch. Rinse, lather, and repeat, and play the White Sox tomorrow. So the Dodgers now 3-3-2. That's going to do it from Surprise. Rangers 4, Dodgers 3. Tomorrow, Dodgers facing the White Sox at noon on SNLA. For Rick Monday and Kirsten Watson, I'm Tim Neverett. Have a great Sunday afternoon.